Hey, Jacob.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining and welcome to the webinar. We're going to give everybody a couple of minutes to jump in, and then we'll get started with our webinar. We appreciate you joining, and we look forward to not only educating, but providing some answers on esports in school environments. We'll be with you in just a moment. If you'd like, feel free to put your name and school or company that you're with so that we can kind of see where people are from. Or just give me a big old thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. Also, if you like, you may see it in the chat, but I've got a PDF to the presentation that we're going to give that's got some links in it that we'll be talking about just for reference and just to see a little bit about what we do. So I'm Jason, and with me is Jacob, and we are part of the GG Circuit team. We've been doing this for a long time. Me personally, I've been with GG Circuit since it started in 2008. I've been an educator in the past. I have not only in a college environment, but I've also been an educator within the Esports LAN Center environment, doing summer camps for kids, esports plus technology. I also ran a LAN center for 4 years and have been part of GG Circuit since its inception, which was initially a tournament system, to managing LAN centers with our software tools. Jacob?
Hey, I'm Jacob Pitcher, and I have 16 years of experience in administration in the higher education environment. That is system administration, by the way. And loved what I did, but found an alternative path in the esports industry, and I haven't been happier, to be honest. I love what I do, and I love helping people.
So we called this presentation "Controlling Esports Sucks," and why we called it that is just because every environment is different and everybody brings their own skills to the table. But when it comes to controlling what you do in the facility and the esports environment, there are just so many variables that you have to deal with. And so we wanted to focus on the university and K through 12 because we're starting to see a lot of those folks come through our sales funnel, doing outreach. How can I control this, et cetera? And so we're going to take those problems, we're going to put a spotlight on them, and then we're going to tell you how we as a company can solve those. So some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about different venue types in the school environment. What are some of the main esports problems that schools are dealing with? How we provide solutions and walkthroughs to those, some school-specific features in our software, and then some advanced services that we can provide. And so we're only going to talk for 30-40 minutes, and then we're going to open it up to Q&A and hopefully answer some of your questions, whether they're operational, technical, et cetera, or something specific to your environment. So venue types. This it just kind of touches on some of the business models and or environments that you're going to see in a school. One being an esports team or lab. So just a place with 5 or 6 PCs that you utilize for your esports team to come in and do a daily practice. Second would be a multifunction esports room. So something that's used maybe for an esports club during a certain time, or you're going back and forth between classrooms and esports. Third would be a campus or a public facility. So this could be a wide-ranging thing. You know, our customers have anywhere from 5 PCs to 200 PCs in their facility. So it may be one where it's provided free for students just to come in and play and have a good time, maybe part of their admission fees, et cetera. It may be a pay-for facility where students are coming in as well as the public is coming in and paying by the hour or not paying at all. But in addition, maybe there's some breakout rooms for teams to come in and practice, do your competitions, et cetera. So esports problems. So what I'm going to do in some of these next slides is I'm going to identify some of the main esports problems. And we'll see some videos that I'm going to show of GG Leap, which is our esports operating system. And I just kind of want you guys to get in your mind that this is a completely out of the box install. We have not customized it at all. We have not done anything with it. It's just how GG Leap is usually installed right out of the box and not customized to an esports environment. So I just want to make sure to say that ahead of time. So desktop control. Desktop control can be, you know, how do we keep students from accessing the desktop, but at the same time provide admin access when we need elevated levels for people that are running the facility. A lot of times, if you're just running Windows, you may have issues with your IT teams that some games require administrative rights, and you know, how can you get around that? The second would be authentication. How do we lower the work involved to utilize existing authentication methods in the schools? Like, you know, some schools I've seen have used Google, some use SSO, some use Active Directory. How can we keep from reinventing the wheel, but yet also have a backup in case we actually just need to create users and passwords and do that instead? Jacob?
Cool. What's up, guys? So first off, we're going to talk about license management. The main thing I'm talking about there isn't necessarily Windows licensing, though. We're talking about game licenses. You have to own a copy of Call of Duty to be able to play it. So I guess the main thing that you want to consider there is whether you're going to provide free licenses to your students or not. We see people do micro scholarships and pay for licenses for their students. Or you could take it another route and you could just buy those licenses and provide them with our license management functionality. As administrators in the higher ed field, you're probably, and K through 12 field, sorry, not leaving you guys out. You're probably familiar with concurrent license. I am so sorry.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, it was. Okay. Woo, I'm good.
We had some new folks jump in.
Okay.
Keep going.
Awesome. Yeah.
Concurrent licenses is what you were talking about.
Yep. Concurrent license management, FlexLM and Sentinel LM. So the thing you want to consider is whether you're going to give those licenses or not. If you're going to give them, you can use our license management functionality. Works just like those two license managers. It checks out a license to somebody when they access the game, and it returns the license to the pool for the next player when they're done playing their game. The next thing I want to talk about is networking and updates. We're talking about security. We're talking about game patches. On the security side, you reboot a machine and it's on the latest version of your image. But also, much like other products that restore the hard drive on reboot, that's what GG Rock does. So you reboot a machine and it comes back to a known good state. That's important for network security. And from a game update standpoint, you only ever have to do them once. And then when you reboot the machines, they're automatically on the latest version. Good stuff.
Okay, so with the next slide, we're going to go through what GG Leap does in regards to desktop control. So what you're going to see here is how someone first installs GG Leap. So GG Leap is two pieces. It's the Esports OS, which controls the desktop of the PC, and then the web admin behind the scenes. So to install it, once you get your first web admin account, you download the GG Leap installer. It's going to go through the process. You're going to log in as an admin, so it knows that PC is your PC. And then it's going to show up in your web admin. This is a look at the user interface. So this example is using Google authentication. So it's going to give you a QR code. You're going to get your phone. You're going to accept that you're logging into Google, which a lot of schools utilize. And then it's going to go back into the user interface. So you add some more details, log in. And like I said, this is an out of the box install. So in this environment, we do utilize paying per hour, but we'll talk a little bit about what we're doing for schools a little later. So this is going to go through the checkout process of purchasing an hour. And you can see that that order is there. You're fulfilling the order. And then once that's done, the time gets automatically applied to that user and they log back into the user interface. So again, this is out of the box. We do a lot of work for the environment, meaning we put some of the popular games already automatically installed from your desktop, depending on what you want, but it's completely customizable for the apps and the games that you want to appear. Like I mentioned, there's a shop within the UI. So if it's a paid environment, they can go in and pay directly on the user interface. We also have a loyalty system called a prize vault where they get coins for being logged in, and you can provide prizes if that's your thing. So again, it locks down the desktop, but you can unlock it for class very easily. There's a web admin that you can access from anywhere, PC, tablet, phone. So I joke with a lot of people that they can admin from the PJs if they want to, but if you want to charge and track time, you can do that. And you choose all the games and apps that you want to show up in the LAN environment. The last thing I'll mention is we do have an online demo of the client user interface. We utilize a web technology, so you can see the full experience of GG Leap directly within a web browser. The next thing would be authentication. So from an authentication standpoint, we automatically have Google authentication, Facebook authentication, Apple authentication. We work with over 125 some universities and K through 12 schools right now. All of them have their own authentication needs, some SSO, some Active Directory. They can automatically log in through that and get a specific time applied. If you only want to give a user a certain amount, that can be done. And there's also guest mode for quick access. So you have a team coming in to do a competition, but you still want the security of GG Leap. You can just log the team in with guests and they can log into their own accounts for games. Okay, so this video is talking about license management, which Jacob talked about. So again, we're going to be here in the GG Leap web admin. If we go to settings and then we go to licenses, basically what we do with our system is you decide what you want to use in terms of licenses. So you don't have to have a game license for every PC. You can distribute them as they're needed. So this is basically a license I'm creating for Fortnite. So I'm referencing Fortnite, and then I'm going to put in all of my logins and passwords for Epic to be able to launch Fortnite. So we'll give this just a minute to add in. It's very, very easy to quickly add them. It's nice and flexible because if it's a popular game and people don't have accounts, and you can easily add a license, subtract a license. They can ask for a specific license in the software. There's just a lot of functionality that goes along with this, and it really doesn't get its flowers in regards to its abilities. So once you have this license, you then go into games and apps, and you specifically go into the Fortnite game. This is where you would enable, disable games and apps. So if I go into Fortnite, the next step that I have to do is just tell Fortnite to use the automatic license system. And then once you do a restart of GG Leap, it will know that there are licenses available to be played. So the final thing here I'm going to do is I'm going to log into the actual UI. I'm going to go into Fortnite. I'm going to ask it to grab a license, and it's going to automatically log in and launch Fortnite. So why that helps you is basically you don't have to go around to all the different PCs and remember the logins and passwords and to get everybody installed. It's just an automatic process. So I've pretty much talked about everything here. I don't think there's a launcher that we don't support. And that's just come from practice over the years. The unfortunate thing is that we can't really control what publishers do. So sometimes Steam might change, the UI might change, the Epic UI might change. So it's usually easy to add a new launcher and fix any ones that may have changed. But the best thing about it from an educational standpoint, if you're going to provide licenses to your students, which they may have their own accounts anyway, you're saving money because you get to use the license feature.
All right. Now we'll talk about the network stuff. This is the fun stuff, right? Just kidding. All right, network admins, calm down. I'm not being mean. You'll want at least a 10 gig network connection to your server and 1 gig to the clients. And that's basically because all of this data is streaming from that server to your client machines. You want to steer clear of anything that's going to bottleneck that network at all, anything that slows down those packets, any advanced features. You also typically want to make sure you have one external IP for each of your computers. That is to say, when computer A accesses the internet, the internet sees it on a different address than computer B. And the reason that is because if somebody logs in or tries to and spams a bad password 10 times, all of a sudden battle.net doesn't work and you've got a bunch of Call of Duty players knocking on your door asking you why it's not working. But if you have multiple external IP addresses, okay, the problem still happens, but at least it's just one machine affected instead of all of them. And the last step is if you're planning on running any firewall software, make sure those connections are open for communication, for Pixie Boot and other network related functionalities.
Yeah, so you'll see this little graphic going around, and this is just my little joke, but these games change all the time, as you well know. Some can be on a schedule, some of the more popular ones, but depending on what your facility is, there may be random games that update in a random time. So just like Jacob was talking about the Call of Duty, you as a network admin or IT staff person or an esports coach or an esports admin, whatever, have to go to each of these PCs in your facility to do that game update. And depending on your time factors, there could be a competition going on and, there may be an update dropped and it just kind of ruins the experience for the user because you have to go to every one that's being utilized and update it. And some are large and taxing on the network. So I'll give this to you, Jacob, but this is what we do to solve that problem through our diskless boot software called ggRock.
Yep, and I love that animation on the previous slide, by the way, Jason, because it perfectly illustrates the sneakernet methodology. Please don't sneakernet. Please use your computer network to its full advantage by using ggRock. It's a diskless boot product, which means you don't have to have a hard drive in any of your systems. It is an on-premise server. You can't Pixie boot over the internet yet. It's not. We're not there yet. And the other cool thing is instead of doing that sneakernet methodology, you're this admin guy on one end and you update one PC. When the rest of them reboot, they're all updated as well. And that restore to pristine state feature that I mentioned previously, man, just I wouldn't be able to live without it in the education environment. Let me tell you.
So let's focus in on a little bit on specific educational features that we have in the ggLeap software. And because we're starting to see a lot more K through 12, a lot more college and universities, we have tried to focus in this area a little bit with our development in the last few months. So number one would be SSO accounts related to admins. So I talked a little bit about user accounts using SSO, but we altered the ggLeap software to allow you to utilize your own SSO for admins that are doing game updates or changes or whatever to the web admin, as well as logging in or unlocking at each PC. The second one is a no shop experience. So I was talking a little bit about, pay to play environments, and we have a shop and all this kind of stuff. We now can set up a demo that has no shop whatsoever. So if that's not your thing, you won't see it in the user interface at all. But if it comes to a time where you may need that, we can flip it on for you. Jacob, these last 2 are yours.
Yep, absolutely. Now we'll talk about a different kind of user interface customization. I know you like to run the case lighting that matches the school branding. You can make the software on the PC do the same thing. Colors, schemes, video, photo backgrounds, etc. Everything there is under your control. So please reach out to us if you have any questions about user interface customization, because we love to see universities and K through 12 modify that client and make it their own. The last part is you can do what's called admin moding any system, which immediately drops it to the Windows desktop. You can either do that from the GGLeap web admin, or you can do it at the machine by pressing a magic key combination. I won't tell you that here because, well, it's fun, but
well, it's a magic key combination plus authentication. It's not just.
Yes,
we're not giving away company secrets. I mean, the other thing too that Jacob mentions is you can have a second image on the GG Rock server that just drops people into Windows, and that's easily done as well.
Yep, and you can schedule those too in the future. This will be a next release thing. I'm really looking forward to that.
The next thing that I want to talk about is a feature that we just came out with and are currently in beta testing. We had it a couple years ago, but we've redone it right this time, and that is something that we're calling Arcade. So Arcade within the GGLeap user interface is like an events or a challenge system. It's not a tournament bracketing system. It's just something where we're doing automated stat tracking for specific top games in our network. We're providing leaderboards, and we're giving you a way to have something going all the time. In a LAN center environment and a school environment as well, there may only be one person running the facility. So they can't run the desk, and they can't do the marketing, and they can't do the sales, and they can't help customers, and they can't do the tech and run events all at the same time. So this is something where it's going to allow you to create a challenge template that can be used at a later date and really create those challenges quick. We do Fortnite, League of Legends, Valorant, Dota 2. So let's say, for example, your esports club comes in and they want to do a duos challenge for kills. So we can specifically grab that data, put it in a leaderboard with users, etc., and you guys can have something going during your hour of esports club. Another way to utilize it would be for something like school tryouts. So let's just say, for example, you've got 100 Fortnite students that want to be on the Fortnite team, and you can only provide 20 spots. So you could do, depending on what stat you want to track, that may give you the ability to pare down the talented students from the not talented students. But if it's just an everybody want to play, that's cool too. But if you're looking for more competitive Fortnite people, this may be a way to go to kind of get through that. All right, so what else? Well, we are former LAN center owners. Well, Jacob isn't, but I am. Jacob used to be at Purdue Fort Wayne, and he ran their facility before he came to GG Circuit, excuse me. And we are way more than just software. So we have services beyond just our software where we can help get work off your plate. But I'll hand this over to Jacob to talk a little bit more about how we can help you succeed.
Absolutely. So in your copy of the presentation, you'll get this nice link to a infographic covering 4 of the major points that GG Circuit can help you with. First of all, it's consistency. When gamers sit down at machines, the most annoying thing for them is to have to recreate their settings every time, to install an update every time, etc., etc. That goes hand in hand with maintenance and security as well. This allows you to basically control your machines effortlessly without having to walk machine to machine. From the security aspect, do your patches every day if you want to. In fact, you have to do that with some of these games. They're going to release a new version almost every day. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the heaviest days for updates, by the way. And finally, that licensing aspect I touched on earlier, use our software to provide those licenses to your students. That's something that you can do to help them without doing a whole lot on your end. You don't have to walk anywhere. All you have to do is assign that license to the machine and they're good to go. So please feel free to grab a copy of this infographic. I'd love for you to display it, but you don't have to.
So our services that we provide beyond software is twofold. One, we have a group that's called Spec Ops, which is consulting and on-site services. So let's say you are, planning on a facility, you know the amount of PCs, but you're just getting started, you have a budget, and you need help. So what our team is going to do is we're going to come on site. Well, before we do that, we're going to source PCs, desks, chairs, peripherals, monitors, start configuring your server if you do GG Rock. Come on site, bring the server with us, help you set up desks, chairs, PCs, configure your software as you need it, configure GG Rock and make sure everything is as close to up and running as we can do before we head out. I can't remember, maybe the most recent one university that we've been to, somewhere in Oklahoma, I think we went to. I'd have to look at the calendar, but basically we're just trying to help you from our experience. Like, I think somewhere around 50 locations we've helped start up. So, and that's not even counting the amount that we assist on a daily basis. So if you need a team, if you need a consultant, if you need help just filling in the gaps of information, we're here for you. Second link is our managed services process. So we have a team of about 10 to 15 people that are our 24/7 support staff. So they're the ones behind the scenes in the chat, answering questions, everything else. But as part of managed services, if you utilize GG Rock, we're going to jump into your server every day and do all the game updates for you. Do all your PC restarts from remote. So we're going to make sure that that teacher or that esports coach has success when they open the doors and welcoming students in. And we have a 24/7 private Discord chat with our team where you can get any of your answers, or if you've got an event coming up and you say, don't do our game updates, we're fine. Or, hey, we really want this game and we want to start using it. As long as we've got a 24-hour notice, we'll get that installed in the next cycle. I think the two biggest things to attach to this is you're cutting your daily work by using our services by about 30%. And if you have staff or something like that, and you have a middle of the road facility, which is at least 20 PCs, you're saving yourself about 15 grand a year by using our services. So again, we've added in the PDF and Jacob's infographic in here. Just a couple resources that you can pull from in this PDF is our GG Circuit brochure. This goes through absolutely everything that we have to offer, as well as talks a little bit about our team, our network stats. We have somewhere in, the pandemic affected everybody, but we're getting close to pre-pandemic numbers within the facilities that are using us, the active users per day. And so that's kind of exciting that even though gaming centers may have a bad rap in the industry, they're still going. Schools and corporations now are coming to us versus more independent owners. And then third is code development. And this is just a fractal graphic here, but it's a really cool way to see how our development has grown over the years. It's an animation of basically all of our GitHub repos and submits and all that kind of stuff, but it also talks about hourly usage, how many users have been created in our system, how many devs it would take to recreate what we've done in the past 7 years now. So it's a really cool way to learn more about us and our expertise. So that's it. Boom, 30 minutes. I couldn't have planned that better if I wanted to. So we will open it now to questions, and hopefully you have questions for us to answer. And I don't know how we want to do this. If you just want to raise hands or throw it in the chat, we didn't really practice this part. So we're happy to answer any questions.
Hey, Jason. Good
Yeah.
to see
Hey,
you.
James.
Sorry that we missed each other a couple weeks ago.
That's all right. I was looking at you from across the room. I was just waiting for you to notice me. You were easy to notice in that plaid blue suit.
And I know this is a conversation that you and I had a few years ago, but I want to make sure people this is thought about as well too, because I know a lot of us in education spend a lot of money just on software management in general.
Mm-hmm.
Given that these are game titles, that it doesn't have to be just game titles. They could use this as for any piece of software.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, or a great question, a great thought. Let's say it that way. GG Rock is not specific just to esports, even though that is how we sell it right now. So it could be utilized for any school that has to manage a PC image and has PCs to push it out. So it could be used in a school environment, university environment, corporate environment, anything. It is just a diskless boot system that just happens to be esports flavored right now. Jacob, anything you want to touch on regarding that?
Well, I do want to say that we have some really, really awesome enhancements coming in this area of GG Rock, the Active Directory area specifically. Stay tuned because you're going to love what you see. I can't say a lot, but I'm super excited. That's all I can say.
I give Jacob a lot of crap because of, development is what it is. And when we've got resources and we've got runway, everything's great and smooth. But sometimes we get a project out of the blue that we just can't say no to. So dev may go a little bit slower. But go ahead, Jacob. Give me some pie in the sky things that are coming down the pipe.
Ooh, pie in the sky. I love it. Okay. Well, the first thing is you'll be able to bind the machines to Active Directory. So that means that your students will be able to log in to your GG Rock managed machines with the regular Windows login screen. It can basically replace your entire computer lab when that feature goes live. I just can't wait. Okay, that's all I have to say on that.
Let's see. So we got a question here from Chris Conway. We've enjoyed utilizing the license management system to provide licenses for paid games. However, with SMS and MFA now required, SMS MFA now required for several of these accounts, we've stopped adding new games. How are arenas handling this issue? I'd love to have a good workaround on that.
That is a difficult problem.
Yeah, so we've got our Spec Ops guy Dustin in here. He's Shaolin Bum. Dustin, do you just want to talk? I can make you unmuted. Or yeah, can you unmute him, Jacob?
Yeah, sure. All right, I didn't know he was hiding there. Would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. Sorry, Jason.
Okay, I just hit ask to unmute. Can you unmute him?
I think he got me.
Hey.
I think I hear my server in the background there, Dustin.
You hear a bunch of servers in the background. What did you need me unmuted for, JMac? What question?
Well, the question about with new games, SMS, MFA now required, how are we handling this issue? Chris, would it be too much to ask specifically a game that you're having issues with?
Ooh, yeah, that's good. That way we can give a specific
Because
answer.
we know some with Activision has been making things a little bit harder on us, but this is where I need your expertise, Dustin.
Yeah, like with Call of Duty, for the free-to-play versions on there, they require you to do a phone number to use. So if you want to provide center accounts for Warzone 2.0, you're going to have a phone number for each one of those. So I think that's maybe one of the problems. It requires you to tie a phone number to that. So in the center space, centers can't use anymore. We don't really have a way around that unless we're working with the developers, if that answers that question.
Yeah,
Okay.
and honestly, a lot of the solutions will be per game. So please, if you can give us a specific game, we can more directly answer the question.
Yeah. Okay, so next question is what about newer, this is from you, Dustin. What about newer
I know you added
PCs?
me.
What about newer PCs with 2.5 NICs? Does GG Rock only utilize one? What was that? What's that for? Sorry.
I just wanted Jacob to answer this because I know the answer, but a lot of
Oh,
PCs will
yeah.
be coming out with 2.5 NICs instead of the 1 gig NICs. It's more of a GG Rock question, so
Yep.
kind of on
Okay.
the roadmap, but I'll let Jacob really answer that.
Well, that just means that instead of a water hose, your PCs will be able to drink from a fire hose when it comes to pulling data from the server. That's going to be a problem because if you've designed your server around 1 gigabit NICs for your client PCs, you're going to need to throw a higher capacity network card in your server, possibly 25, maybe 40 gigabit. But that all depends on the type of stuff you're doing on your machines. If it's really disk thrashy stuff like video editing, you're definitely going to want a higher end network infrastructure on the server side. So just when those new PCs come out, watch the network cards, and when they go up to 2.5, you're going to have to look at your network infrastructure a little bit too. You're chasing bottlenecks, basically.
On the non-gaming side of things, is there anything on the roadmap for Linux disk image support on GG Rock? Should be fairly simple to allow any old image to Pixie boot. So I'm not sure why GG Rock prevents it performing a Windows OS check.
We will definitely take that under consideration. I'll have to raise that with our development team. I know it's come up in the past. I don't know offhand what the exact answer to the question is, but I will tell you that there are a number of features built into GG Rock that would not function with a Linux-based operating system unless we custom write the code to do so. But again, I don't see why it wouldn't happen, but I don't know all of the technical details behind it. So let me field that question and then we'll get back to you. Can I have you shoot me an email after the webinar or even now? And I'll
just put your email into the chat real quick.
Excellent.
Ben, I see you got your hand up. How can I help?
You are muted then.
Ben Pratt.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted. I guess I didn't.
That's all right.
So looking at some of the drives at the GG Leap machines this morning, I saw that there's a C drive and a G drive. C seemed to be a Windows, the Pixie boot OS, and G was a bunch of the games.
Yes.
Across machines, different models, do you guys have to go in and update the games on each model, or is the model only the C drive stuff that you have to update, and then the games, if I do it in model A and run that update and then it pushes it up to our GG Rock server, do I have to do it in model B as well, or do those bits come down to all the models?
Man, we need to offer this guy a job. He's selling our products for us, Jason. To answer your question,
He's a plant.
Nice. You can share a single games image between multiple system images. So if there is 2 different hardware platforms that you have to support, one of them has an AMD-based video card and one of them has an NVIDIA-based video card, you're going to have 2 separate images just by virtue of the hardware being different. But that games image can be shared between them. There will be a little bit of administrative effort involved, which, by the way, if you subscribe to our managed services, we'll be able to take care of that for you. So we'll have a little bit of extra work. But in any case, the basis of the matter is, yes, you can share a single game image amongst multiple system images. And if your machines, let's say, have just a slightly different video card, maybe some of them have a 2080 and some of them have 2070 supers or something, maybe you are able to run just one system image there as well. So does that answer your question, Ben?
Yep, it does. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, that.
Hi, John.
Go ahead, John.
No, he's just giving a shout out to the GG support team, which I'd like to do myself. These guys work really hard. And I speak from experience. When we first started and I was sleeping with one eye open to answer questions all over the world, they're always available. They're very personable. They try to get the questions answered as quickly as possible, or updates done as quickly as possible. And if they're unable to, they pop it up right to our development team. So we have a 24/7 team. There's usually 2 or 3 people available at one time. They answer stuff in Discord. They answer stuff directly within the web admin, and we're happy to have them. And that's not even if you have our services. We'll also answer you directly. Yeah, so I think we've talked enough. You'll have to, if you're utilizing our services right now, we're currently going through an email and technology migration. So you can send us jason.mcintosh@eeg.tech is my email. Jacob's is jacob.pitcher@eeg.tech. In regards to recording, I'll be sending out an email most likely within the next 24 hours with the recording. We'll probably put it up on our YouTube channel as well, which I believe is just youtube.com/ggcircuit.
Yep.
And so there'll be a recording of that. And anything else, Jacob, you wanted to add?
Honestly, we appreciate you all being here. Thank you for being here to support us, and we love to support you.
Yeah. Yeah, and at any time we can add in, we'll create a meeting request. We'll do a sales call. If you just want to talk about your environment, we're more than happy to do so. And obviously, if we can help, then we'll move forward from there. Just kind of talking about this SMS stuff. I think Dustin did address it. Just that we haven't found a workaround just yet, but it's a problem that we are looking at and we have seen. So I appreciate you bringing that up. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining, and appreciate the interest.
Jason,
Yes.
I apologize. I just have one quick question. Sorry to sneak it in. After the initial image that you guys helped capture, is there any need for modifying that initial image as far as drivers and stuff for that local image that's stored
Every
on
day.
the Rock server?
Yeah, it could be drivers, it could be BIOS stuff, it could be GG
Windows
Leap has a
update.
new version, it could be a new game that's coming out, it could be a game update. So that's why we built the software, because this stuff just changes, like a chameleon walking down the street.
Right. So once the image is the core image is sitting on the GG Rock server, is there a need for updating as far as not snapshots for games? Is there a need to update consistently?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're gonna update that system image just like you would update any standard PC. The only thing is, instead of just updating one PC at a time, you're doing it across your entire fleet at a time.
So for security perspectives, do you so the admin, you need to remote in as admin to run the updates and then save the snapshot back? Is that I'm thinking of a security aspect of it. Do you need to so you always need access to that physical drive, or
No.
you basically update the virtual the core image?
Yeah, so what
Snapshot.
I think I understand the perspective that you're taking on this now.
Yep.
So when you first create that image, it usually would have been from a physical machine. You take an image of a drive on a physical machine. Nowadays, it's almost exclusively importing those images that we have pre-created for you. So you'll pull down a Windows 10 Education or Windows 10 Enterprise image, for example, and you'll modify it from there. You add hardware once, and that pulls in the network driver so that your machines avoid the chicken and egg pixie boot problem. And once your machines are booted, you're making changes from there and you're saving them to your server. I don't see a reason other than very few edge cases where you would end up with having to go back to a physical machine and make your image there.
Great, thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. And we look forward to communicating with y'all.
Bye-bye.